Hey, second grade. So I've heard from quite a few of you that you are feeling pretty successful with the body percussion, and from a few of you that you're feeling like you're still struggling with it. And that's okay. We just started with it, and it does take a lot of practice. It's actually something that we will be working on all the way through fourth grade, because eventually you start doing more and more parts and doing what we call polyphony, multiple sounds, polyphonic, multiple sounds. It's what those words mean. And so, uh, take your time. Be patient. If you're just getting just even our claps together and that's it, that's okay. That's where we start. And if we were in class, most everyone would be getting it wrong at this point. We're just in the first few weeks of school. So just like anything else, when we're learning it at the beginning, it may not be perfect. It shouldn't be perfect. Then that means I'm not challenging you enough. I'm not giving you enough stuff. So be patient. I am going to approach it a little differently today, and so that way it'll help others who maybe learn more by kinesthetic and auditory. I'm going to do some more visual for some of you today. So, and even if you learn more auditory or kinesthetic by touch, visuals still help too. We learn with all of our senses, and that's how we perceive the world. That's how we understand the world, is through our senses, and that's how we take everything in and how we learn everything. So I will try to touch it in as many of those as I can for you, so we can learn the best we can. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the body percussion again, but we're going to include some visuals. And for those of you who are a little interested in how it works, then I'm going to include that as well. And it might be over our heads a bit, but that's okay. Again, it's where we start. So here we go. Let's start with our first pattern, which is this. Now, we're going to break that down just to make sure we have everybody here. We start with our clap, and then one hand, and then the other hand. Okay, so make sure we're not doing two hands. Sometimes I'll see this, and we just are thinking, bring our hands to our chest. Remember, it's clap, then bring one hand, and then the next hand in. And you can practice this on your own really slow, even if it's just dum, dum. To first figure out where your hands are going. Now, this kind of practice is not only good for music, it's good for a lot of other parts of our lives. It's hand-eye coordination, it's motor skills, it's a lot of stuff that's really good for us anyway. So don't hesitate to practice this a lot. All right, so let's bring it back to here. Now, you can keep doing this with me if you would like, or if you want to stop for a second and listen, you may. I'd like you to tell me, in that pattern, how many beats are there? Okay, so you probably answered 3. Most people do, because we're going to count it like that. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. But if you listen to that, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Music doesn't stop when there's silence. See, silence is a very important, vital aspect to music making. Silence, and I'll show you some listening examples later on this quarter. Silence is really important, very important part of music. We always think of music as making sound, but in that we also use silence, just like in storytelling or in conversation. Sometimes silence is important. That way we get our point across. Okay, so that being considered, check it out. Dump, doom, dump, dump, doom, dump, right? So clap, chest, chest, then silence on the 4th beat. So it is indeed 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we clap on 1, 2, 3, then silence on 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, now, when you're doing this, don't try to count it out as you're doing it. It actually makes it more difficult trying to figure out that. It's easier to feel the beat. That's how we perceive music, is through feeling and expression. We analyze it so that we can understand what we're doing. But the heart of it, yeah, that's just something that is innate or something that we are just born with. Okay, so that's our 4 beats, 3 sounds. Now we're going to add 2 beats with our laps. That's going to give us 5 sounds, 6 beats. Now again, for those of you who are struggling with this, it's clap, then right, left, then left hand, then right hand, then left hand. Or it can be left, right, whichever you're more comfortable leading with, right or left. But it's going to be clap, pat, 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 pat. Just think of walking your hands down your body. Walk, 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 walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's that space is on 6, that's silence. We call it a rest in music. So this is 8 beats, 7 sounds. Feet, feet. Okay, so it's pat, 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 right foot, then left foot. Or it's left, right, left, right, left, right. Left, right, whichever you're more comfortable with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you're feeling like Mr. Jax, I totally have this already. This is just getting boring. It's just review. Hey, never boring. We practice our fundamental skills all the time. When I pick up a trumpet, there's certain things that I do every time. Now, I'm a trombone player, but I do play a lot of different instruments. The first thing I do to warm up I play that note that I first learned. The very first note I learned on trumpet, I play that and hold it until my lips start warming up, until I have that sound and the air. It's kind of getting prepared on my instrument. I do that every time I pick it up still, 25, 30 years later since I first picked up the trumpet, I still do that same thing. So it's never a problem to review and practice skills that we already know. Think of a basketball player. Do you think they stop practicing ball handling, or soccer, same thing, stop practicing ball handling? No. You can get even just a little bit better, and even just a little bit better, and even a little bit better. It's the same thing with any skill. So even when you feel like you have it, continue to practice it, because it will be built on as we go. All right, so that's our 4, 6, and 8 beats, which are 3 sounds, 5 sounds, 7 sounds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, rest on 8. Okay, now what that looks like in the video where, hang on, let me grab a pen. What that looks like when we put it all together in parts, which you saw in our body percussion video, 2nd grade, I have to tell you, usually I would not have you experience all the different sounds if we were in person. We would just practice the body percussion and move on. It would be a 1 to 2 minute warm up at the beginning of class. But because this is all virtual and virtual and videos and so forth, I can show you a lot more of where it's going, so that when we are eventually sometime in person, then it's all going to make sense. Pretty cool. All right, so here we go. So the 4 beats, the 3 sounds, we're going to have clap, pat, pat, then a rest. Clap, pat, pat, then a rest. And I'm just using symbols to show you where that all lays out. So square for the clap, then line for the pats, and then a rest. So clap, pat, pat, rest, clap, pat, pat, rest. Okay? Da doom doom, da doom doom, da doom doom, da doom doom. Right? Okay. So then, with the 6 beats, we're going to have clap, pat, 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 rest, clap, pat, 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 rest, clap, pat, 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 rest, clap, pat, pat, clap. Can you see that? Yes, just barely. Okay, so let's add in this one more time so we complete the pattern. Pat, pat, rest, clap. Now that's important because when we add in the 8 beats, we're going to then have clap, pat, 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 stomp, stomp, rest. Okay? Then clap, pat, 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 stomp, stomp, rest, clap, pat, pat, stomp, no. Pat, 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 stomp, stomp, rest, clap. Now, if I grab myself a different color here, okay, we can see that the clap lines up here, here, here between these two, all right? So we have a clap, then clap, clap, clap. Oop, that lines up here. Cool. And then clap, clap, and then here is where all 3 are lined up again. So it makes sense because here we go. Now 2nd grade, this is beyond your math experience. So you can tell your classroom teacher, Mr. Jacks taught us denominators. Denominators are where numbers fit into each other. Now this is actually kind of easy to see. We have a pattern of 4, okay, including that rest. We have a pattern of 4, we have a pattern of 6, we have a pattern of 8. All right, so all total the sounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we have 24 sounds in the bottom. We have 6, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, that's also going to equal 20, so is the top. So 4 goes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times into the 24 sounds before it repeats again. The 6 goes in 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, before it repeats again. And the 8 goes in 1, 1, 2, 3 times into 24, into that pattern of 24. So 4 times 6 equals 24. 6 times 4 equals 24. Okay? And 3 times 8 equals 24. So we have 3 groups of 8 equals that sound of 24. 4 groups of 6 equal to 24. 6 groups of 4 equals that 24, and that's when it repeats. Pretty cool. We're getting to do math in music. We're getting to take those denominators where how do these numbers fit into a larger number and apply that to music. So in the video where we have the multiple Mr. Jacks playing those 3 different parts, that's what we're doing. So go back, use that video. I'll try to repost it so it's refreshed in your Seesaw classroom. I'll see if I can assign it again. But anyways, you can go back and practice that the 3-part body percussion where there's 3 of me wearing the different color scarves, and you can now practice that and think about this visual. Now again, this may not make sense to some of you or even a lot of you, and that's okay, because my belief is that it still kind of sticks in there, and as we learn into the next future years, this will start to make more sense. So, all right. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. There's a lot more videos for you to enjoy and participate along with, and I will see you in those next videos. Bye.